everybody, welcome back to the Style Lounge. I am here today with our resident makeup expert, Lauren. Lauren, do you want to take us through what you're doing today?
So this video is going to be all about party. So it's going to be sparkle, it's going to be depth of colour on the eyes, possibly a pop of colour on the lips. I'm going to decide as I go, but it's definitely going to be a strong look for the party season, for New Year's Eve or for your work's Christmas do. So I hope you enjoy. So the first thing I'm going to do, Anna, is I'm going to prep your skin. So I'm presuming, haven't moisturised, and I'm just going to moisturise your skin in the normal way.
Yeah. So
the moisturiser I'm going to use is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, which is a nice base for makeup. I wouldn't say it's necessarily the one you should be using on an everyday basis, but if you're wanting a really good base for makeup to sit on top of, it's great. So what I'm doing is I'm going over your brows with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel, which is just going to set them in place. Always put it on before the rest of your makeup, so then it sets.
I do that.
Yeah, so if you put it on, it's quite wet, isn't it? And by the end of your makeup, you generally, it's sort of dried to a set position.
Yes, yeah.
And if you get caught in a heavy wind, you know that your eyebrows are going to be in place.
Nothing worse than a crazy brow.
So what I'm doing here is I'm just preparing the base of your eyelid, and I'm just using it's a non-creamy concealer, and it's Laura Mercier Secret Concealer. This is the Laura Mercier Translucent Pressed Setting Powder, and that's just going to take the shine off and stop the creasing on that product as well. But I'm going to do a look as per what I think would be a really good strong party look, so that's why I'm going to go with a really dark eye, and showing you using the By Terry Ombre Black Star Cream eyeshadow sticks. Now I have talked about these before and I do really love them. They come in lots of different colours. I'm using one called Brown Perfection, which is a really, really dark chocolatey brown, which is shot through with a bit of metallic, but only slightly. It's got a little bit of warmth to this, but not tons. Now, the key thing when you're doing a smoky eye is to keep the product right to the lower part of the lash line with the brush that you're applying it with, which is like a really small, dense, flat-headed brush, and then face that brush down towards the lash line, pop the product on, and then with a smaller, with a medium-sized blending brush, you're going to blend that product down, but you need to make sure that your blending brush is nice and clean. I always put a cream product on first, and I create my shape with a cream product, and then I blend it out, and then I pack on a powder product on top, which will then... So as you can see, I've applied that product all along the lash line with the brush facing downwards. I'm now going in with the blending brush and I'm going to blend downwards into there. Now I'm not blending anything in particular, I'm blending basically blank product into the density of product down there, and by blending down I'm then picking up a tiny bit of product on the brush and then it's blending it upwards. I think the difference between a really good smoky eye and a not so good smoky eye is the blend.
Right.
And I think that's the key thing, you know. A lot of women know how to apply a dark eyeshadow, they're just not quite sure how to blend it out. And I think the best thing you can do is make sure that you get yourself a nice little dense blending brush.
And that one's the MAC one, isn't it?
This is the MAC 217, but I also really like the Real Techniques brushes, which are really reasonably priced. You can pick them up in Boots, Superdrug. You can occasionally find them in TK Maxx at a reduced rate, but I think they, for me, are the best high street brushes that you can get. Now, because this is a party look, I really am packing that product on, so you're getting a really, really dark, dense colouring at the lower lash line. For this party look, I'm going to use one of the Naked Urban Decay palettes. I like these. You know very well that I love MAC eyeshadows and I like to build your own set of MAC eyeshadows, but for the purposes of this video I thought it was nice to show something that people could pick up for a Christmas present for themselves or a friend or family member. It's one of the newest eye sets that that Urban Decay have brought out. I'm just going to cover the mirror so I can show you the details. It's got loads of really nice warm browns and pinks and lots of sparkles, so great for the party season, and I think work really well with a lot of ladies. Right, so again, with this time with a clean eyeshadow brush, again a dense square one. I've packed on a lot of the dark matte brown, and then I'm going to take that over the top of what I've done. But again, just the bottom part of it. So when you take it just over the top of what you've done, that's just going to hook itself onto that cream product and keep that density of colour. Now, as you can see, I'm just turning that over. So as I said before, you want to pack the product into the lash line, but I'm turning it over just to take a bit of that darker colour up. Almost in like a teardrop shape, so we're very thin here, going out to a wider point here. And then along the bottom of the other eye, and then taking it along in that teardrop shape. Just do that again. So packing it down at the bottom. And then
so you really do like going back in quite a few times, don't you?
Yeah. So I'm going in now with I'd say it's like a mid-toned pink, matte pink colour. I like using these matte colours because I think that you can add your sparkle at the end, but especially when it comes to blending out this smoky eye, you really need the matte colours in order to create that really good blend. So even though I'm using a blending brush, I'm actually not swirling that brush around all that much. So sometimes when I get to the top, I'll then start working this little swirl technique. But I'm using it more to pack the product on. So going back in here, packing the product on over the top. Blended out with that matte pink colour, and now I'm going to go back in with the dark brown over the top just to really get that depth in the lower part of the eyelid. So by putting these really warm colours on and introducing a bit of pink, you've almost got this purple tone coming out, which works beautifully with Anna's eye colour.
Would you ever, because obviously we're doing quite a dramatic dark eye, smoky eye, but it's not greys and blacks and things.
No.
Do you ever use greys and blacks on people?
Yeah, definitely. I think that, you know, a lot of people, when they ask for a smoky eye, they're imagining that grey and black. And it's fine, I like it. I'll sometimes only wear, you know, black for a smoky eye. I love it.
I mean, it is quite heavy and dramatic though, isn't it? It's a real statement, because I don't ever do black. No,
and I think that for most people, you know, as I've talked about in my previous tutorials, it's for most people, brown is a much softer finish. So I'm going back in with a really fluffy blending brush that I used at the beginning to pop on the loose powder, and I'm just blending downwards there. Now the reason why I'm doing your eye makeup first is that obviously you're going to get a lot of fallout underneath when you're doing eyeshadow, and by taking the eyeshadow on first, it means that all of this dust and dirt and everything that gets underneath the eye is going to be cleaned up, and then we put your foundation on and get you a really nice finish on your foundation. So at this stage, obviously, not putty underneath at all, everything's going to get cleaned up, but now I'm going to apply some eyeliner. So if you just look up to the ceiling for me, I'm guessing, do you not normally take it into your waterline? No. So Anna, I know, has got super sensitive eyes, you can blink if you need to. So I'm just going to take this, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Rock & Co liquid eyeliner. It's not liquid, but it's like, it's wetter than a coal. I'm taking that underneath the eye. Now, if you wanted a really, really, really powerful smoky eye, I would always take it on the waterline, but not if you've got super sensitive eyes. It's just not worth it. Yeah. Now, what I'm doing here is the smaller eyeshadow brush that I used, that I was packing on the dark brown. I'm going to use the other side of that that's got a residue of the product on it, and I'm going to swoop that underneath the eye. So if you look up to the ceiling, when you're doing this on yourself, you can still look up to the ceiling. You can take your mirror above you, or you can actually just do it without looking. Just keep your brush nice and flat to your face, so you're not kind of poking in at it. And get this really nice and smoked out. So what I love about these Charlotte Tilbury eyeliners is they don't drag on your eyes, they just really stay put, but they also blend out really nicely. And by putting this powder on top, that's going to really lock that in. So close your eyes. So what I'm using here is just a flat cotton pad, wet with a little bit of micellar water, and fold it so it's got a straight line, and then wiping underneath to get that nice and clean. Right, I'm going to use highlighter. I've used a highlighter lotion like these drops, which are by a brand called Iconic. It's very, very, very shiny, but I'm just going to put a little pop on your inner corner of your eye. So if you look to the left for me, so that's just going in here, and then to the right, and in there. And then what we're going to do is with our concealer brush, we're just going to blend that out and into the product. So it's lots and lots of layering. You know, you need to give yourself plenty of time to create a look like this.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid of doing it simply because it's going to take time. This is a really, really glittery eyeshadow, which is one of the limited edition ones from MAC, which has been brought out for the party season, I think. It's called Shiny Pretty Shadow, and the shade is Major Win. The key to applying sparkly eyeshadow is use it sparingly. Don't literally apply it over the entire lid, unless that's what you're going for. I sometimes love to, you know, but obviously if you're new to doing a stronger look, then just be careful how much you use. Pop your finger in it. I always pop my ring finger in it, and then just press it across where you want it to be. So I'm just going to take it to that inner corner and just make that shine pop.
So you're taking it to the inner corner rather than the outer?
Yeah, and sometimes I'll take it just in the middle, but for this look I'm going to take it to the inner corner. But it is, you know, it is earn the makeup, so have a play around, just see what works for you. But I think just blend, blend, blend. I think if there's one thing that every girl should have in her makeup brush collection is a decent eyeshadow blending brush. I think it's really important. So again, I'm going to do the eyelashes now because Anna is prone to sometimes getting runny eyes, so I think it's important to get these eyelashes on, see if they are going to run. If she can't bear them, we can take them off and sort it out before the foundation gets done. So I'm using a brand called Ardell, and the shape of these is Baby Wispies. They also do a really nice shape called Demi Wispies, and they're both really good for party looks. What I've done is with duo glue, I've put it on the, what do you call that?
Your wrist?
The inside of my wrist. Yeah. The inside of my wrist. It's a specialist area. The reason I put it there is because it's warm, and once that glue starts to go off, it will be, as in get more tacky, it will be a lot easier to apply them. You don't want slippy slidey eyelash. I'm going to bob on mascara now. Now, as Anna will testify, my favourite mascara is
Max Factor.
Masterpiece. The one in the gold tube.
I love it.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I use it.
So it doesn't run, it's really easy to get off. It's just, yeah. Do you wear it for exercise?
Yes.
You find it alright?
Fine.
I've never worn it for exercise.
It's fine. I think unless you were like, I probably wouldn't wear it for a spinning.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I'm going to put the mascara on first, so close your eyes. So obviously I'm applying it with a disposable wand for hygiene purposes, but the wand, I really like the wand on the Max Factor one.
It's a good one. You can really get into the base of the lashes. But I think the biggest thing that, well, not the biggest thing you've taught me ever, because you've taught me a lot, but one of the best tips is to do what you're doing and concentrate on the top of the lashes.
Yeah.
And, you know, do them, because it makes such a difference to how your eyelashes look.
We're now going in with the eyelashes that I've cut to size. And just put in some duo glue from, well, it used to only be available through MAC, but you can get it in most high street shops now. So duo glue is going along the backbone, it's gone tacky, it's ready to go on. So if you look down for me. Now if you were doing your own makeup, you would look down into a mirror. So you would take a mirror underneath your eyes. But what we're going to do is, because I'm applying it, Anna, you can look down and you can stay looking down for now. You can blink if you need to. And then I'm just going to hook that along the lash line. So the reason why we make sure that our glue's gone tacky is it means that it's a lot easier to place that lash on. And then I'm just getting it really, really tight into the lash line and just look straight ahead. And you can see the difference between the two eyes. Some people want that stronger look, but some people just, you know, are happy with just a bit of mascara. I quite often don't wear lashes now. I did want to showcase the full glam look for this video. So we're getting that placed right in the outer third. We're then going into the middle section. Do not do this when your taxi is en route, which most people seem to sort of get really harassed and rush this section. This is a really time-consuming thing. If you look over to your left, and then we hook that under there, and look straight ahead. So this is a really full-on, gorgeous, glam eye, and then I'm just going to clean off that glue, and then I'm just going to go with the same eyeliner that I took underneath Anna's eyes. I'm going to take along the top, just to hide that join where your lashes are. Obviously, I'm so experienced in putting lashes on. I'm really used to doing it, so it's a lot easier for me. But sometimes people will have a gap between where their natural lash line is and their lashes, and so little trick: get some eyeliner and go along the top. So close your eyes for me, Anna. And then I'm just going to go along the top with this pencil and get that really, really tight onto that backbone of that lash, because what happens if you do that is it covers up all the glue, it covers up all the backbone, and it almost looks like you're not wearing lashes. Aside from the fact your lashes look great, it's not, you know, the lashes that I've used are not super, super massive, so just, you know, people be like, is she wearing lashes? I can't work it out. So I'm using the Iconic Illuminating Drops to give that real kind of sheen and gorgeous glam look to your skin, and also to give that healthy glow that we lose at this time of year. So I'm always talking about that keyword luminosity, and we need to bring that into the skin at this time of year. So I'm using Armani Luminous Silk in shade 3.5, and I've mixed that in, as I say, with the Iconic Illuminator Drops. These are so versatile. As you know, as I mentioned earlier, I've put them into the inner corner of Anna's eye. I've used them mixed into the foundation, and also at the end I'm shade I'm going to put them along the cheekbone as well. But what I like to do when I'm wanting a fuller coverage is I'll put the product on, but then I will press it into the skin. But don't always try and get your coverage from your foundation, because that's what your concealer's there for. So you know, don't feel that you need to get like a mask of foundation on. You'll see that I'm applying it with one brush and then I'm blending out with another. You don't have to do that, that's just a technique that I have adopted over the years really. When I'm doing my own makeup, what I'll tend to do is just put a blob on the back of my hand and use a dense, flat-headed blending brush like this, and then I will press and blend that product into my skin. So we can, obviously at this time of year, we can, you know, go with a paler shade, but in summer I would probably be adding a load of bronzer to this, but as this is a Christmas or party look, we don't have to.
If I had a fake tan, you'd add a bit of bronzer, would you?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's the thing. If people are going for fake tans for their parties, then yeah, definitely get that sorted. Get that, you know, foundation needs to be much, much darker. Little tip for you all: if you want a darker foundation for one night out, just go to the counters and ask for a sample. Just say, I just wonder whether you could test the darker one on me. Oh, can I take a sample of that to check it goes with my tan? Right, okay, so I'm going to use the Laura Mercier, and it's the Secret Concealer for Under Eyes, and that is going under your eyes.
Under my eyes. Excellent.
I'm going to use my ring finger, and in a crescent shape, I'm taking it under where the depth of colour is. This is shade 2. You are probably shade 1, but I want to keep, rather than making it too much lighter under there, I want to keep it basically the same shade as your foundation. So that's obviously all blended out there. I'm just going to get another little bit under there. So that iconic highlighter that I took in the corner that was really, really strong and sharp before, obviously you can see now I've put that product over the top. It's not got too much of a pop to it. It just shines through. Yeah. So again, I'm taking this underneath and upwards and then into this corner here. Overall, we've now got lovely smoky eye, flawless skin. We need to start adding some colour back in there and also work on eyebrows. So let's do eyebrows first. So I'm going to use the Anastasia Brow Wiz pencil in soft brown, and I'm going to take some strength into Anna's eyebrows. So we've already used the clear brow gel, which has set them in place, and now we're just going to go over them, get a little bit of strength in them, especially in this outer third. So this top arch of the brow is where you get your real strength from. Right, and then you get on the end of your Anastasia pencil, you do get a clear mascara one that I'm just going to go over with one of mine. Okay, so I'm going to get some highlight into that skin now. So although we've got a nice glow on camera, probably you can see that, I'm going to put some actual highlighter on, because when you go out and you're in the dark and then the lights catch on your skin, it's just going to look absolutely amazing. It's going to be popping. So I'm going to put a cream blush on you now, and I said it's going to give a real pop of colour to your cheeks. This is a Laura Mercier one, and the shade is Blaze. So you can either use your thumb to do this, like so, just to give a little bit of pop of colour, or you can use a brush, and you can just blend it up the actual bone of your cheek, and don't bring it too far in, not much further than the inner part of your iris. So we'll blend that out. As I say, you can do this with your finger. You can apply with this finger and then blend out with your middle finger. And it gives a really nice finish. Over the top of the cream blush, I'm going to take this shade in the middle, which is by NARS, and it's called Orgasm. And it is great because it is a pink, which is shot through with a... It's like got an undertone of coral, but it's shot through with gold, so it gives that real shimmer. It's gorgeous. Then we're going to go over the top of that, just with some powder, because we want this makeup to last all night. So going back to my video in the summer, I talked about how, you know, I do powder skin, but it's not really, you know, my thing. I like to keep skin looking glowy and luminous. But I think when you're going on a night out and it's cold outside and your nose gets a bit shiny and you really want your makeup to last, I think powder is important for that. Now, some people talk about powder highlighters. Some people talk about powder highlighters or cream highlighters. I like to use both because I like to put the powder on top of the cream. So I've got Soft and Gentle by MAC. I've got lots and lots of powder highlighters, but this is just one that I picked out that I'm using quite a lot recently. And again, I'm just going over the top of where I took the iconic highlighter, so just to the top of that cheekbone, and just blend it out. Right, so I know I said about bronzer before that I'm not adding too much bronzer because it's, you know, it's not a bronze look that we're going for, but I'm just lifting that skin with a little bit of bronzer, just down the bridge of the nose, and just a little bit over that cheekbone, and just a bit onto the forehead. We're going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude Lip Liner, and it's like it's a brown, but it's not too dark, but it's not also got any pink tone to it. So I think a lot of nude liners have a bit of a pink tone, and not everybody wants to wear a pink nude. Some people, I love wearing a brown nude. My favourite's Very Victoria from Charlotte Tilbury. That's a gorgeous brown nude. And I'm going to take that as a lip liner, but also as a base all over your lip. I'll talk you through this. I'll talk you through my lip prep favourites. So I love using a product called Dr. Lip, which is really good at this time of year. It really, really helps your lips to stop being so dry. It stops them reacting to the cold as much. It does protect them. It's like a medical grade lanolin. And I also really like using MAC Prep and Prime Lip, which goes on really well underneath the lip colour and holds your lip colour in place very well as well. So I'm going over the top of this really gorgeous MAC Lip Glass gloss, which again is like a nudie brown colour.
Lip glass gloss? That's
lip glass. So lip glass is the type of gloss it is, and the shade is Beau, B-A-E-U-X. I don't know whether it's a limited edition one though. They do so many limited edition ones at MAC. It's a real pain, but they've usually got something similar. I think similar to this would be their lip gloss in Viva Glam 5 or 2. So this is Anna's party look for the party season. It would be a fabulous thing for any of you to recreate. Hopefully I've given you lots of tips and techniques on creating this with any colour and any style. But if you've got any questions, you know where I am.